Hello and welcome to The Mini Nerve. I am your host, Maureen Callahan. Oh, we are so excited for today's mini. One of your favorites, one of our favorites is here with us. Mark Bowden, body language expert extraordinaire. For any new troublemakers joining us today, Mark is the founder of Truth Plane and the co-host of the must subscribe The Behavior Panel on YouTube. Go over there, subscribe. You will wonder what you did without it. Mark, welcome back.
Maureen, good to be here. Thanks for having me, as always. Great pleasure.
Oh, we're so excited. Okay, first, we have so much. There's so many offenders out there in the wild this week. Michelle Obama on her media tour for her new book about how beautiful and stylish she is. Here she is asked about what date night is like with the husband who's chewing, she can't stand, and in general, that loser who made her slog through 8 years in the White House. Here we go.
Nights are pretty, we've been married 32, 3, I always forget. Sorry, honey. I know, I forget that it's 32 years, right? Date night is when we're both happy about date night, we're at home, because we're not getting dressed. We just have a nice dinner, candles lit, music. We talk. We don't talk for the whole day because we're in the house together all day, right? I mean, we work from home, and if we're not traveling, we're together all day. So when we are going to have a really special night, it's like, don't talk to me. Save it for dinner. He'll be like, did you talk to the girls? I did, but we're not going to talk about it until date night.
Oh my God.
And don't tell me who
let's
you
cut her
called
off
on the
right
phone. I
there.
heard you on the phone.
Let's cut her. It's gruesome. It's a crime scene. Mark, what do you make of it?
Look, you may find it gruesome, you may find it a crime scene, but it doesn't change a lot around that. And in body language and analysis, we're often looking for where might there be any kind of radical changes, because that's where we might see a different emotion and maybe even deception. It's a pretty constant, for you, unpleasant experience, okay? And maybe for others out there. So look, the biggest changes I see are on a really special night. There's strong baton gestures at that, which we don't get throughout the rest of it. I think she does find the date night a very special night. There's one thing specifically that she doesn't like, and that's DC. There's a big gesture there in her face of disgust around DC. I actually think she does like to be in, just on her own, with her husband there, and she doesn't like going out and meeting other people. That's what I see from it. There's a lot of double shoulder shrugs as well, just to say, hey, that's just the way it is. I think she sees herself as an ordinary person having ordinary date nights in which are special. She doesn't like going out.
Okay, there's a couple of things I want to ask you about. She's asked about date night, and this is the response. We have a physical recoil. Oh, and then the head go, oh, and then we're rolling the eyes and we're casting about for how do I describe date night? Is Barack there? Is Barack part of date night? Could date night be with the girls? Could date night be with a best friend? I don't really know what her expansion is of that definition. And then she says, I thought something very telling. She said, when we're both happy about date night, then it goes into something else. She qualified it. Not as if date night is always something that she looks forward to, but when they're both happy about having it.
Yeah, look, I think you're getting there a usual kind of relationship with somebody else where not every day is the greatest day ever. Not every date night is the most fantastic date night. Why does she recoil back? I never know exactly why people do that. But it could be simply because she's asked the question about date night and she hasn't really got anything particularly interesting, exciting, and super romantic to say about it.
I think that's a very generous interpretation, Mark. Those of us stateside who have had to listen to her griping on her podcast about how much she hates her husband in various permutations, I think have a little bit more skepticism, but I defer to your generous interpretation.
Thankfully, you only give me short clips. You never make me watch the whole of anybody saying anything. So look, I don't have all the experience that everybody else has out there. That's what I got from that little clip there.
Okay, let's move on to Meghan Markle. We're going to come to her now and in the future on this mini. When I saw this, I earmarked it for you immediately. Meghan at a bookshop with another one of her best friends, and the best friend was not performing up to Meghan's expectations. We're going to take a look.
You guys get to meet Courtney as well. Yeah. We've been friends since college, just so you know.
Yeah, it's really an honor to be here and to be chatting about our book. Oh, sorry. This makes me nervous.
I can hold it for you also.
I can't even speak about that. I've already spoken about it. It makes me so angry. Please explain what you saw.
Well, I agree. It does make her nervous. I actually went and looked at some of, I think it's Courtney's other interviews. She's not really that nervous in other interviews. She does lay one hand over her microphone hand. It does seem to suppress that. That seems unusual. She should be used to bringing a mic closer up. I think she is nervous. She doesn't like this situation. I mean, it's got to be nerve-wracking for anybody next to somebody who is in the media more than anybody else, sometimes for good reasons, sometimes for not so good reasons. I will say that moving the mic up, she grabs hold of her arm near the wrist and moves the mic up. She makes physical contact rather than taking the instrument and moving it up, or even just saying, hey, move your mic closer up, we can't quite hear you. I mean, that might be the thing to do. Maybe, if I wasn't quite getting it right on your show, you might whisper to me, hey, Mark, just do this, as a kind of a helpful thing to a friend who might not be as experienced as you in it. So I agree, it's a little bit rough what she does there.
Without drawing attention to what Meghan clearly sees as the failing of her non-as savvy media friend, I thought that was so aggressive. The gentle thing to do would maybe be tap or just wait for the actual moderator of the event to say, oh, just bring it up closer so we can all hear you, which is what they do all the time. Like, most writers are not, this is not their milieu. They're not used to being. And then what I love too was Meghan's trying to recover, like placing her hand on her friend's back and like the grin and going, I can help you too. Oh, would you like me to hold it? Which just to me again ratifies that there is nothing you can do around Meghan Markle that will ever be up to Meghan Markle's standards.
Well, there does seem to be an element of control needed around this. She isn't able to wait. She isn't quite able to let her friend deal with it in her own way or let the moderator deal with it. She kind of needs to get in there hard and early and control the situation. And that might be something of her personality.
You think?
Possibly.
I think. Okay, let's take a look at Cheryl Hines, who is the third wife of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. She was dating Bobby when he was still in his marriage to his wife Mary, who wound up committing suicide. Cheryl, I believe, was not very kind to her. I write about it in Ask Not. Cheryl is now getting the full experience of being a Kennedy wife because her husband cheated on her with a journalist named Olivia Nuzzi. Olivia has a memoir coming out. Olivia has always maintained the affair was digital in nature and only conducted over the phone or electronically, never physical. Cheryl is being asked about this. Cheryl's on tour with her own memoir. Let's take a look. And then, Mark, you tell me what you see in Cheryl.
I think you always have to consider the source, right? So that's where I start. And then it ends with a conversation with Bobby. So getting to the truth of the matter, and then that's where it ends.
I mean, she was pretty still. To me, it was the head moving around. Searching a bit.
Here's what I get, Maureen. You notice that we get this tapping of the finger before she answers the question. I would say that's suppressing some aggression there. She really wants the whole hand to move, but she's just got that suppressed tapping of the finger. there. There's a lip lick and then some lip compression there. The lip lick is often a grooming gesture. It's to make yourself look good in the story. And then she's not going to quite tell you the whole story, but she is going to look good during it. And then we see these eyebrow flashes for approval on some specific words: running for president, exhausting, chaos, and she's not going to guess. So on those, she wants you to buy this story that she's kind of grooming in a pleasant way, in a good-looking way for you. So she wants you to know that he was running for president, it was exhausting, and it was chaos at the time. So all, I think, setting up mitigating circumstances for what happened. And then she's saying, with that eyebrow raise, she's not going to guess the reasoning that's going on around why this person might be putting out that story. She wants you to guess at the reason why. And I think she wants you to guess at a reasoning why that plays positively for her. She's pretty angry about it. She's pretty upset. She wants it to look good. And she wants you to guess at a positive reason why this all happened.
I mean, Mark, the thing that I got from it, especially as a journalist, is that she's angry that she's even being asked the question when she's on a book tour for a memoir that she would never have gotten a book deal for. Not only had her husband not run for president, become a top administration official, and cheated on her. But she's angry she's being asked.
Yeah, I mean, I guess some people can't quite see that when you put yourself in the public eye, there's going to be some positives and there's going to be some negatives. And the interviewer can kind of choose at that time which way they go with it. She's not quite happy about the way it's going. And it seems to me like she hasn't got a good alternative story. Just she's going to play some circumstance to you and then let you guess at an alternative story.
And the eyebrow raising, that I am always very highly attuned to when I'm conducting an interview, because that to me is almost a move of supplication, of approval, and please go along with me. Oh, it was this. Oh, you understand, right? It was this. Like we're making a kind of communication. And if I can read that back in your face, I know I'm on terra firma.
Right, it's exactly that. In fact, we know that the eyebrows are often more important than the eyes in terms of understanding what somebody else is trying to communicate. So she's really trying to push at the interviewer, which is really push at us. She understands, she's an entertainer, so she understands how the camera works. She's not new to that. She knows that her eyebrows are going to have a big impression on the audience and the story that they're making up for her.
Today's show is brought to you by Oxford Natural, home of the all-natural Optimum Day and Optimum Night supplements. Are you trying to lose weight after having a baby or prepping for your wedding, or you're just ready to feel like yourself again? Thousands of men and women across the US and the UK are already doing it with Oxford Natural. Their Optimum Day powers you with steady energy, crushes cravings, and keeps your metabolism firing all day. Optimum Night helps you relax, sleep deeply, recover, and keep burning fat while you rest. England's soccer legend Michael Owen lost 40 pounds, and Robbie, the face of AFTV, dropped over 100 pounds. It has worked for others too, with customer testimonials raving about Oxford Natural's effectiveness. Now, it's your turn. Scan the QR code or click the link. Grab 70% off your first order with code NERVE. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural. Let's get to work. Okay, now we're going to go down the sort of the body's tells. We're going to go to Kiera Knightly being asked about JK Rowling. And let's watch as Kiera manipulates her mouth in such a way that she is giving the answer non-verbally, methinks. Here we go.
Saw you're voicing Professor Umbridge in the new Harry Potter audiobooks. I was wondering, are you aware that some fans are calling for a boycott, given JK Rowling's ongoing campaign against trans people?
I was not aware of that, no. I'm very sorry. I think we're all living in a period of time right now where we're all going to have to figure out how to live together, aren't we? And we've all got very different opinions. So I hope that we can all find respect.
I think I mispronounced JK's last name. I'm sorry, it's Rowling. Mark, we've got the chewing of the lips to the point where they're almost being sucked inside the mouth, and then a rearranging of the facial features, and the arms never move from the sort of defensive, protective position.
Yeah, I've looked at this interview a little bit more. The chewing of the side of the mouth isn't unusual for her. It does show some anxiety, okay? And the anxiety could be around this particular question. There is some lip compression as well, which could mean that she's not going to put forward the answer that she'd really like to put around this. The most important thing around this is the laugh that she has to kind of break the mood. That's out of her baseline for the rest of this interview. And then what's important for me is how she looks to the side. In this interview, it's not shown here, but she has the director, Simon Stone, of the film that this interview is actually about, woman in cabin number 10, I think it's
terrible.
called.
Yeah,
okay, not seen it, but she's looking for support from the person next to her. So net of all of this, we could speculate around the anxiety. We could speculate that she doesn't really want to answer this question, but you don't need to speculate that she's looking to the person next to her to go, hey, will you join in? Will you support me on this? Will you give me some backup on this? So I don't think this is a question that she really, really wanted to deal with, and she's looking for help on this one.
Oh, clearly she does not want to make a headline wading into this, and you can tell she's trying to stay in her lane. I'm an actress. I don't want to offend 50% of my audience, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, now moving on to Jennifer Aniston, who is accepting an award, and as we move down the body's towels, her shoulders seem to be indicating something that I would love you to explain. We're going to take a look, and then you will take it, Mark.
And I remembered a parental figure saying to me, around the rather critical age of about 11, after a dinner party, that I was excused from the table because I didn't have anything interesting to add to the conversation. Ouch. And it stuck with me. It stuck with me like painfully worded sentences can. And if I'm being honest, and I'm being honest because I'm 50, and, that comes with the territory. That's right. So I carried that sentence with me into adulthood. And I always felt incredibly comfortable giving, a voice to the words of others, but put me at a dinner table with strangers or at a podium like this, and I go right back to being 11 years old.
So what nonverbal cues are you picking up, Mark?
Well, as is often the case, sometimes not the ones that others are looking at. Look, that shoulder piece. Here's what I see in that. She is leaning on the lectern anyway, which is going to bring her shoulders up. She's got her head pushed forward into the mic, which makes the distance between the shoulders and her ears seem closer as well. Obviously, the more, this is what we call turtling, which can often suggest somebody is protecting themselves, is anxious in that situation, that they feel this situation is negative. I would say in this particular case, because she is leaning on there, because her head is forward, and if you look at the distance between the skin of her shoulders and at the bottom of the shoulder area on her outfit there, they're big shoulders. They're power shoulders she's wearing. It is an event for powerful women. So she's wearing power shoulders, okay?
Yes.
So I would say she's positive in this situation. It's just the structure of what she's wearing and how she's set herself makes her look like she's turtling. Here's what I see, which is different from what others may. When you see that movement of the hair, she does it 3 times. That's what she does in Friends when she's having a particularly emotional moment. I think she's truly emotional about this situation. I think she truly is hurt by what happened at that dinner and how it affected her life. And I think she's trying to put across the strength of that in a powerful suit, but is leaning down and it's making her look a little bit negative, a little bit turtled.
That's so fascinating. And just, I think we've talked about this, but in case we haven't, turtling is actually, that's protecting the neck, right?
Yeah.
One of the most vulnerable parts of the body. It's a way of self-protection. Your vocal cords, your voice box, that's where they are. You're maybe being very careful with what you're saying or how you're saying it because you feel vulnerable about what you're saying.
Yes, protecting the carotid arteries, the windpipe, by bringing the shoulders up and closer. But I don't think she's doing that in this. It's just a result of how she's lent in and how she's and what she's wearing as well. But I think she is vulnerable within the story, and that we see from the movement of the hair.
I agree completely. 2-hour final reel, which I'm sure you saw. This thing went viral. It's the completely spontaneous, how did this get out? Celebration in the what looks like the basement media room at Casa Sussex. Here we go. Oh God. I'll just give it to you. I'll just give it right to you, Mark.
Yeah, look, Maureen, if we were living together, I would like you to
I need to
tell
slow
me...
it down, Mark. We need to slow it down.
Our relationship is escalating fast here, but let's just imagine. Let's imagine, we live in the same... I would like you to tell me if you're going to record stuff and if you're going to put it out. And if we have security...
Not a big ask. Not a big ask.
Not a big ask. I think that's fair. You probably think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, because then I wouldn't have to have a very mismatched situation where my partner and their friend are doing this incredible celebration, and I'm just there, with my Cheetos on the couch or whatever, not experiencing the same thing. It's very different from what I remember of some footage I saw of them dancing around when she was pregnant, where they're both engaged.
They both knew the camera was there.
They both know what they're trying to achieve. There's a mismatch here. He doesn't know what's trying to be achieved here. And so he's not able to join in. And so it's vastly different. Not untrue from him. I think, look, why would anybody, from the royal family, English, have any idea that they should get excited about baseball?
What also struck me was just the sort of lassitude of his posture on that couch. He had one arm sort of slung over the back of his head, and he's slumped. His actual posture almost feels defeated, bored, uninterested. This is a major game in the United States, one in which most people have their friends over. Most guys have their friends over. When she comes up to him, it looks as if it's taking him a moment to figure out what she's up to. Why is she coming over to me? In fact, his right forearm seems to come up as a defensive gesture, not a welcoming embrace. And then he realizes, I'm being recorded. I better get with this program.
Listen, for me, by the way, I'm in Toronto right now.
Oh, no kidding.
We were in that game, obviously.
Yes.
I sat down and watched the match as a dutiful Torontonian. And I'm English and I just don't get what was going on. Have no idea what was going on. We spent hours watching that thing and then it ends finally. I still don't understand how they won it at the end. I don't get it. So I understand this guy sitting there going, what the hell's going on here? Okay. And not quite getting it how somebody from LA who's grown up potentially with the game, might get it. So I get that. Again, I go back to, you've got to warn people of the act that you want them to put on. You've got to say, hey, I think we'll probably capture if we win or not, or if we lose. Let's capture that so we can put that out so somebody knows how to perform, because it's really bad optics.
You know, Mark, just to wrap this up, this comes full circle to in the first Netflix documentary, we saw Meghan surreptitiously filming the lead up to Harry's proposal and surreptitious photos taken of the proposal tableau itself. I don't know if you recall this, but she's on her iPhone on speaker with one of her friends, and she's whispering through a crevice in a doorway that is peering out to where Harry is. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. Oh my God. Oh my God. And the whole thing. And if he didn't look at that and say, this woman will record anything, nothing is sacred, without letting me, the other major power player in this proposal, know, I don't know how he could be surprised by this latest stuff.
Maureen, I'd be locking the bathroom door.
That's because you're very smart. You're very smart.
I'd be locking every door.
No kidding.
Because I wouldn't, it would be tricky to trust what's getting filmed and what's not getting filmed and what's going to be put out. I would find it very hard to know because we all understand in entertainment, there's the act version of you and then there's you. It's like professional wrestling. And it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's a great, great thing. But if you're going to survive it, you've got to understand when you're switching the entertainer on and you're switching the entertainer off, especially when you're in a marriage around that, that's going to be really hard to deal with.
And that extends to, I think, everybody. We all have a public face and we all have a private face. A public face we use to interact in the world, at our jobs, with extended family, however it is. And the private face, when everything comes down and you can just truly be yourself in what you would think is the safety, emotional and physical, of your own home. And Harry clearly does not have that.
No, I would totally agree. And again, that's what we see in that mismatch. And I think you caught it exactly right. That almost defensive gesture that he makes, he doesn't quite know what's going on, and that it might be not in his best interest, not in his favor, the amount of energy that's going on. It's almost like he's detected a level of violence in it.
Yes.
Potentially being violated in some way, which is what's happening if the film is being put out without his knowledge or being put out when he wasn't ready for it. It is somewhat a violation.
I agree, it's a violation. He does not look regal at all in that, at all. He doesn't even look put together. He's a guy like on whatever night it was, in a grubby t-shirt and sweats. It's a terrible look, and I think she knows that. I think that's why
and
she
also,
did it.
Maureen, it's a guy who doesn't understand what's going on. I guarantee.
Completely.
He's not going to understand the game at all. Just as if we put somebody, American or Canadian, in front of the game of cricket and made them watch it for 3 days, you'd be like, what was that? What was going on? I don't get it. Why is everybody shouting now?
Yes, but Mark, I think you really hit on it too. He doesn't understand the game he's watching, and he doesn't understand the game Meghan's playing with him and the media. Mark, I could talk to you forever. We can't wait to see you again.
I'll come back.
Thank you. Thank you for this.
My
we
pleasure.
loved it. Great to see you.
Always great, Maureen. Bye now.
Bye-bye. And that's it for our mini nerve. I love having Mark Bowden on. I love it. I could talk to him about this stuff forever. And he's so fascinating. He gives us all these morsels that we can take with us out into the world. And it makes us just that much smarter in dealing with friends and foes alike, right? So thank you. Thank you all for joining us today. We will be back again on Tuesday for a full nerve, and again on Wednesday for the nerve at night. Another reminder, the nerve is now available on Meghan's podcast playlist every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern on Sirius XM channel 111, the Meghan Kelly channel. And if you haven't already, check out the Nerve's Substack at thenerveshow.substack.com. Be sure to subscribe. That's where we put all the stuff we couldn't get into, squeeze into a regular week of the Nerve. So there's just tons of great commentary and always a note from me and answers to some of your questions. And then we will see you back here next week on The Nerve, where you will never guess what we're about to say next. Has your dentist recommended a night guard? to help with grinding your teeth while you sleep and preventing any more damage? If so, let me tell you about Remy. Their custom night guards are game changers. You get the same professional quality as a dentist-made guard, but at 80% less cost, and it's more convenient. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no nothing. You can also use your HSA, FSA at checkout. Here's how it works. Remy sends an impression kit to your door. You follow the very simple instructions, send it back, and they craft your custom fit night guard. And if you order your night guard between now and December 24th, Remy is gifting their customers with a free 2-in-1 foam that cleans your night guard and whitens your teeth. Just in time for the holiday season, go to shopremy.com/nerve and use code NERVE to receive 55% off your new night guard plus a free foam gift. That's shopremi.com/nerve for 55% off a night guard plus free gift using code NERVE. And thank you, Remy, for sponsoring this episode.